everyone. And I'm very pleased and honored to be back here in Asia CEO. When was the last time you flew for leisure travel? When was the last time you checked into your favorite hotel or sanctuary for a staycation? When was the last time you enjoyed buffet lunch or dinner with friends? When was the last time you spent the night out to watch a concert? Or maybe just lazy around for a half day in a museum? If you cannot exactly recall when all those times were, or if you can vividly recall each of those moments, then either of that will indicate to me how much you have missed traveling and touring around the country and maybe even beyond the country. Then I venture to surmise that we all understand how deeply COVID-19 has impacted travel and tourism. My co-speakers before me have given you statistics and data and to a large extent social and emotional psychological impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Well, let me give you some as a context. The UN, WTO, the World Trade Organizations, came out with statistics that documented a 56% decrease in international tourist arrivals for the first 5 months alone of this year. And that represents, in absolute numbers, 300 million tourist arrivals that have not happened around the world and translates to $320 billion of foregone international tourism receipts. Just last night, I attended a members' call of the World Travel and Tourism Council, and Gloria Guevara, the CEO, shared the not so good, scenario, which is really the worst scenario for the year in terms of employment for tourism. She said that 197 million jobs, tourism jobs, are at stake by the end of the year if economies will not be able to recover, particularly in the tourism industry. In the country, between January to July of this year, our tourism receipts have also declined by close to 72%, compared to last year. Last year, we had like 284 billion of receipts. By that period, now we only have 81 billion. And foreign visitor arrivals has also radically reduced by 73%. And speaking of employment, tourism work employment in the Philippines is concretized by about 5.7 million workers, some of whom have been retrenched early on in the pandemic. I'm sure Mayor Treñas will situate us later on for the specifics of ILOILO, so I won't do that for now. As Richard mentioned, I'm not so new. I assumed as Chief Operating Officer of the Tourism Promotions Board on February 10 of this year, and that was the day when our national daily headlines confirmed the first imported case of COVID from Wuhan. So I'm sure you're going to ask, a lot of people have asked me this, how much more fun can this leadership journey be for me? And Richard also noted that somehow COVID ambushed my work in TPB, and that's true to a large extent. And I say that because TPB is the marketing and promotions arm of the DOT. And so yes, this virus has shaken the very core mission of TPB. But resilient as we are, as noted by Mark and later David, we use the pause to actually look for and leverage on the many opportunities, the silver lining, so to speak, brought by this adversity, not only to TPB internally as an organization, but also beyond us, extending to our social partners and our stakeholders. So let me talk about what we've done, we're currently doing, and how are we preparing for the future. In the immediate, when the lockdowns were imposed, we immediately took care of our stranded tourists. We bought sweepers flights to bring them out of wherever they were. We took part in our compassion efforts to provide care kits to our stranded tourists, our returning overseas Filipinos, our repatriated OFWs. As David said, this was a great time for compassion and community sense of helping each other. This paved the way for us to tap our hotels to be used as isolation facilities. We deployed market researchers to have a sense of the traveler's sentiments. And we found out, okay, safety is the new luxury. So slow but sure reopening that puts in the forefront safety concerns of travelers, and not just the travelers, but our community hosts as well, the destinations as well. This is a must. We heed community sentiments on safety and health concerns, so we are partnering with local government units to ensure that we have a convergent approach to reopening the destinations. We are working on a new normal safe campaign that will be launched in the next 2 months. And since there's no COVID-19 management playbook, we are benchmarking with other countries, and this has enabled the DOT since May 22 to come out with protocols on MICE, on hotels, on restaurants, on transport facilities, and now they're working on the protocols for amusement and recreation centers to guide our stakeholders and partners on the new safety protocols and health concerns. Internal to TPB, just like Mark, no, and the others have spoken before me, TPB took time to reframe our vision, to refresh and renew our mission, and revisit our core values. We procured laptops to distribute to everybody who were home working. We also provided internet allowances like Mark to support not just the work from home arrangements, but to sustain productivity. And we also used this pause to stage online learning, training, and even coaching. We reprogrammed our corporate budget to reflect the shift in our priorities, which is now promoting domestic tourism, which was articulated by no less than the President in his State of the Nation address. What are we currently doing? Right now, like what Jimmy said and the many others have before me, we have pivoted. We have adopted digital technologies and platforms. So now we call this our smart tourism strategy. And I hope to partner with David here. Oh, David, maybe we can forge a partnership to not just allow us to expand these platforms, but to capacitate the stakeholders, the users, in terms of how to leverage on these tools. We want to ensure that we use these tools to have data-driven planning and also expand our tools for promotions and marketing. We are maximizing social media and online platforms. We've staged virtual tours, but of course, virtual is nothing compared to the real tourism visits, because tourism and travel is a high-touch industry. Well, we say the show must go on. We will not let the virus put us down, and so we've shifted to stage hybrid events. The FITEX, which is the biggest government-organized travel exchange, annually done in September, will still happen. It will be hybrid. Some of the physical activities will happen in Panglao, Bohol, and we are currently coordinating with Governor Art Yap for that partnership. And the MICE annual convention, which happens in October, will still be staged, although virtually. So now we call it MICECon Online. And you know that ILOILO is also positioned, and in fact, it has a huge international recall as one of the best, if not the best, MICE destination in the country, and hopefully in the region and the world. Next month, we are looking forward to launching the consolidated, integrated, progressive web application, the mobile app for travel and tourism in the country. We envision this to be the ubiquitous tool for seamless and efficient end-to-end travel experience of our tourists in the new normal. Looking ahead, and Kathy has mentioned this, and Ms. Rafael also, the drive to do this thing sustainably. In a way, this virus has taught us to be more mindful of our destinations. Sustainability is the way to go forward. If safety is the new luxury, data is the new oil, sustainability is the way to go forward. So this is one silver lining that we have seen, and we have seen refreshed destinations. The forest cover has expanded. If you go to Quirino, Governor Tua has shared that, my God, it has expanded to 34% forest cover in the province. Our air is cleaner. The flora, fauna, and even wildlife, they're all flourishing and thriving from the respite from mass tourism. So this is key to long-term, if not the strategic development and management of our destinations and tourism products. As I speak now to you, my dear leaders, the Department of Tourism is actually staging a series of online learning sessions to equip our managers with planning skills and the tools and frameworks on how we can develop our domestic tourism products in a way that is sustainable, community-driven, and involves stakeholder participation. Our planning, preparations, and development of our destinations are now anchored on these principles of community-based sustainable strategies. We have actually developed at the Department of Tourism the Tourism Response and Recovery Plan. So this lays down the roadmap for the recovery of tourism within the country. We are exploring partnerships and pursuing rebranding of our destinations. So now we have talked to motorcycle riders. We're launching motorcycle tourism, even hiking, no, to encourage our people to go out in the outdoors and hike and trek. And we are talking to Mayor Jerry Treñas. Can I already announce it, Mayor, that we will help be a partner to Iloilo in launching Iloilo as the biking capital of the country, among others. As I end, and Ms. Rafael has shared early on, the need for courage, compassion, connectivity, the sense of community. All these are attributes that must be imbued by leaders. And I congratulate HSCO Forum for focusing on leadership excellence across the world and even within the country, down to our local government leaders. Now, more than ever, is the time that calls for leadership. And it is a kind of leadership that is not personal. It is a kind of leadership that is collective and shared. We cannot move forward with our plans if we don't get everybody on board. So I call on you, my dear co-leaders, and all of us who are here, let's do our part. Let us share our contributions to all of these great stories you are sharing today. And as I end, I remind all of you of what the Lord assures us in Jeremiah, that He only has the plans to prosper us, never to harm us. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep safe. And I look forward to our Q&A later on. Thank you, Richard.